December 3rd is International Day of People with Disabilities, and as a proud disabled member of staff at the Active Wellbeing Society, I wanted to talk to you a bit about my journey and why it is I'm so passionate about what I do here. I have a number of dynamic health conditions, which means my ability and challenges can change hour to hour, day to day, month to month, and even year to year. That means my health can look quite different depending on when you see me, what situation I'm in. I also have some hidden disabilities, which means there's not necessarily a visual cue as to challenges that I have, and that can make it quite difficult for people to relate to the challenges that I have, or even understand that I might be struggling in a particular moment or circumstance. There's no hierarchy between what these needs are, where those challenges sit. Just because I may look like I'm dealing more well with one challenge than another, or maybe something is less obvious than another, doesn't actually change my disability status. Even on the days where perhaps my physical ability is more improved than on others, I am still a disabled person with those disabilities. And that can be often quite a point of stigma within the disabled community, is that perhaps if it's a moment where you don't use your mobility aid, often people believe, oh, you're miraculously cured and everything's fine. Or perhaps on the days when they see you using something more than others, they think, oh, perhaps you're more ill. It's just simply the same condition, it just changes. There's been some quite scary times for me on my journey. At one point, for a number of years, I was very unwell and I had to give up my independence. I was unable to work for a long time, and to be quite frank, I was unsure if I'd be able to leave the house again on any regular basis, never mind actually work again. So it's been quite a big step for me to rebuild a career and get to a point where I can actually work again. I'm limited on the amount of hours that I can work because of my health conditions, and obviously that's quite difficult because, like I said, I'm quite passionate about what I do. Looking after myself is a part-time job in of itself, and it comes with many different elements, and that can be physical activity, nutrition, medication, medical appointments, all sorts of different elements of wellness that build up that picture. And for me, that actually began with exercise at home. I was really seriously isolated, both socially, emotionally, and medically. I had a lot of barriers to accessing healthcare, and I was in a really very serious situation. But I needed to move because my body had some really serious issues, and movement was going to be the very kind of beginning of how I got to begin the journey of wellness again. And so I started exercising at home. I began with some basic physio that I found online, followed some YouTubers, did some chair-based exercise, which I felt kind of daft doing, to be honest, but I actually came to really love. I think a lot of adapted exercise, there's a lot of stigma around, but a lot of it can be really good fun, particularly if you can find a really good community to do it with. Over time, and it was a significant amount of time, I built that up to include walking. I was very fortunate at the time. I lived across the road from a small park, and I would walk a few meters, come home, and I would walk a few meters more, and I would come home, and then I would walk between the benches, have a rest, come back. And I got to know all the dogs in the park, and that was really nice, but it was really hard because I was dealing with a lot of social anxiety at the time, so speaking to people was really hard, but it got me on the beginnings of my journey. I also did aqua aerobics at the local swimming pool because that was done on a free pass. Because of my disability status, I could get free access to activity there. And all these little things pieced together helped me build strength in parts of my body where I had the capacity to build strength. There's parts of my body where I can't do that, and that in itself has been a road to acceptance, where there's bits of my body that I can't fix or recover from. You know, those different things, those challenges there, and they're going to be with me the rest of my life. And as dynamic health challenges do, they shift, they change, they improve, but they also get worse. And I have to accept that's part of my journey. But the bits of me that I can work on, I've done all different kinds of things. And every day, my life includes physiotherapy exercises, which I have learned through online classes, some through the NHS as well, and I still walk whenever I can. There are days where I still can't leave the house, and again, that's been a level of acceptance for me. But the days where I can leave the house and the weather isn't raining on the windows, I'm not sure if you can hear that through the microphone at the moment. Well, the days when I can leave the house, I do like to get out. And what's wonderful about Birmingham is that we've got some beautiful green spaces to explore, and a lot of them are just a bus ride away, even a short walk from your home. And at the Active Wellbeing Society, we've also got these wonderful walking groups, even running groups if you're feeling bold. And some of them you can even do next to your GP's practice too. So there's lots of those groups that you can join together, walk with other people, walk with people with similar challenges, shared values, have a bit of event, have a bit of support, and also share coping strategies and skills, because that's another really great thing that can get you through. So what I do at the Active Wellbeing Society is I lead the Virtual Wellbeing Project. As someone whose health, wellbeing, mobility, kind of everything journey began with activity online, I know how important it is to have access to free, inclusive activity in a virtual space. So regardless of the pandemic, yes, it really gave us some great lessons on how to do this, but we've continued offering the service online because we know there's still people, for whatever reason, whether you're a carer or a parent, or you have a really chaotic work life, or whether, yes, you have limitations in mobility which prevent you from going out, whatever that is, we can offer this to you online so that you can have access to these activities in the comfort of your own home or wherever it is that you may be. If there's anything that you'd like us to add into the mix, let us know and we can look to see if there's a new class that we can include in there. Or if you are a provider of virtual wellbeing activities and you'd like us to signal boost what you're doing, we'd love to work with you on something, so let us know. So whether you can relate to any part of this story, if you're at the beginning of this journey, bang smack in the middle, or if it seems like a far distant dream to you, I hope some of this has been relatable. Perhaps it's broken some stigma around employment and disability, or physical activity and disability. Maybe a bit more of an idea of what hidden disabilities or dynamic disabilities look like. What I will say about the Active Wellbeing Society, as someone from the inside, we're always looking for new ways to include people. So if you are finding barriers, whether that's with the Virtual Wellbeing Programme or any other element of our delivery, whether that's the walks, the runs, green and growing, our community cafes, whatever it is that you want to be involved in, let us know and we will do everything we can to ensure you can be included. I'm really proud to work for the Active Wellbeing Society. I've been here nearly a year now and we've achieved so much on this programme already. I can't wait to come back to you on the International Day of People with Disabilities in 2023 and let you know what we've been up to by then. Let us know in the comments about your experiences of disability, physical activity and getting involved with your community. We'd love to hear about your experiences and how we can help.